Finally, 13 years, 1 month since leading Wylie to a state title game in football. Case Keenum now going for a shot at a Super Bowl. But it's been the journey to this point from the eyes of his father that's made this season even more special. Seen in this K-Texas special report. Throughout his career, Case Keenum has been known as a journeyman.
Steps into it, pass is caught, digs, sideline, touchdown, unbelievable!
But his winning throw, dubbed the Miracle in Minneapolis, may just have put a happy ending to all those years of wondering when that journey will end.
It's been an interesting roller coaster. It's been lots of fun. Seen some really nice fans and seen some really those kind too.
Steve Keenum, Case's father and former coach at McMurray University, knows all too well of that journey of a young man who's had to prove it all his life.
I think he's the kind of guy that would play if he had a chance to play in front of an empty stadium because he just loves to play. He loves to compete. You know, the rest of it's just gravy.
Growing up, a young Case Keenum wore a different purple and yellow, suiting up for the Wylie Bulldogs on Friday nights.
In West Texas, a lot of ways, it's, you know, life and death. So he's lived some of that.
A young star in the making, Keenum led Wylie to its only state championship win in 2004.
Out of the CUSA title game.
But again, had to prove his worth in college with his only Division I offer coming from the University of Houston.
He got in a situation where you don't have a choice. If you're going to accomplish what you really want to accomplish, then you're going to have to do certain things that other people aren't willing to do. You know, they look at him and they don't see a guy that's capable of doing that, but they don't see what beats in his chest until he starts to play. And that's what people are beginning to see.
After setting NCAA records for then-coach Kevin Sumlin, Case again proved the doubters wrong. Going undrafted, and after spending the first 5 years as a backup for the Texans and Rams, his shot finally came this fall in Minnesota. A right team, right time scenario.
When was it that he told you, Dad, this is the fit? This is where it feels good?
Well, you know, he told me early on that he was on a very talented team, probably the most talented team he'd ever been associated with. The rest of it just kind of evolved. But it was just one of those where all the puzzle pieces fit together and a miraculous thing happened, and hopefully that's not the last one.
I've said all year that I learn from every experience that I'm in, and I definitely learned a lot from that.
Anything's possible. What's it like to kind of see him live that and now instill, you know, that kind of into other people?
I mean, he's the adopted son, and, you know, I think he relishes that, and he's proud of that. And he's very proud of his home. He does remember where he comes from and where his ability comes from, but at the same time he appreciates the people there, you know, his teammates there, because that was one of those things that happened because of a group of men, not just because of something he did, and he knows that.
A journeyman who sits on the brink from the biggest game of them all.
What do you tell him, Case, on, you know, your last phone call or when you see him before the game this weekend? What's the last thing you want to tell him?
I text him 4 things, and I've told other people this, so I'm not going to keep it a secret, but those 4 things are pray hard, play hard, take care of the ball, and have fun. And if he does those things, then he's going to be just fine.